Hello everyone, I am Nyaxianak, and this is my Let's Play of Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, a continuation of my player vs. player matches that I started recording back in February. So we're continuing the current line where I'm reintroducing my created characters in their current form, kind of, although I've actually changed them at least a little bit since then, because these matches I recorded back in February. And onward. Right now it's April? April. Whatever month this is. I've lost track of time. I'm old, what do you want? So, right. Probably compared to some of my older videos, this is kind of infuriatingly quiet. And I know I have like 900 of these matches recorded this way. Ever since I switched to I might have explained this before, but ever since I switched to this new computer, I have a very good sound card with it, and it does. And you know, when I'm just watching things, it will equalize like the sound to a certain extent. And I tend to play all of my stuff fairly quietly in general. Sometimes I'll be like playing a game and watching a movie at the same time, especially with this game, because if I'm not like recording and I'm having a PvP match, I can have like a video in the background or something like that. So I'll tend to have the game be quieter, and so I keep the volume in game very low. And on top of that, for a while, I was also just recording it at like minus 12.5 decibels. So even when point is, even when going back and reviewing the footage I've already taken, you know, because I could hear it, like I think my sound card was basically kind of unknowingly amping up the sound a little bit. So I thought that on recording it would be fine, but it is not. So probably for a while it'll be kind of quiet like this, because there's no way I'm re-recording. It wouldn't be as much of an issue with these PvP matches, but I also did like I did a lot of recording the same way with other projects I'm doing, and that's a problem. Maybe if I knew video editing better, I could probably just fix it that way, and it would just be an irritation and more time-consuming, but I have no idea how to do that. I do have a good video editor that I've gotten from my wife, the one that she uses for her own video editing, and holy crap, I am losing. So I'm going to start implementing that, but not for my current crop of videos that I'm doing. So, I mean, because my player versus player matches in this game is going to be an ongoing thing. Like, I'm doing a story mode run of the game. It'll probably pick up about partway through that, because I'm not currently done with that, and now that I know the problem exists, I can fix it. So there's going to be, probably from day 6 onward, a fix for that. But for a while, for these PvP matches, it's going to be frustratingly quiet, and I apologize for that, and yeah. So I'm not going to explain that with every video, but if you're wondering why this and the last few videos are like that, this is why. So in any case, honestly, okay. I was about to say, I was losing really badly, and then I almost had to come back until I very suddenly didn't. So, but that was a very good match. Which is kind of funny. I mean, PvP matches in this game for me is a real experience, because I know there are people who kind of live and die by their multiplayer online games, but Xenoverse 2 has really been the only online game I've ever cared to play. I don't really care for any online games. I think the only other no, there is one other exception. I played Neverwinter Nights. No, not Neverwinter Nights. It had a similar end sounding. What was it called? It's an ancient game. It used to be like it was very briefly the big MMORPG. Either around the same time that MMORPGs came, like, oh wow, this is like a new thing. back in the early to mid 2000s. It was on PlayStation 2. What was it called? I remember it was called Frontiers, but that was like the sub name of it, not the main name of it. I don't remember. It was one of the many non-WoW MMORPGs that kind of came and went. I'm gonna remember this like after this video is done, and as I'm getting older, these kind of brain farts have been becoming more common, and it makes me feel like I'm getting dementia, and it's irritating. But in any case, that was the only other thing I've done. I could see myself doing maybe other MMORPGs like it. I do have actually an MMORPG on my Steam list that I played very briefly, but then stopped intending to play eventually. It's called, what is it? Let me pull it up. It's, I have so many games, you guys. It's not even funny. Starts with a P. It should be around Path of Exile. Yes. I did enjoy that. I do remember enjoying that game in the very brief time that I played it, and I'll probably do that at some point in time in the future. But the kind of thing... So another thing I'll probably end up doing in the fighter is fighters. I mean, the game has been officially over for a little while. I don't know what the online scene looks like. I know I at least want to do kind of the story mode for it, and okay, yeah, I keep forgetting to put this on loop because I do want like a consistent tone for these. But anyway, yes, Budokai 3 Hesitation Event. That's the theme for this video, and wow, okay, I'm stamina broken. So, I did see earlier that his level was level 61 or whatever, so I'm not exactly taking this as seriously as I guess I should. Because even after doing, what is it, like an ultimate, he did a bunch of damage to me, but it's ultimately, like, this is a character I put points and health into, it's not really going to phase him that much. So on top of the fact that he's just at a disadvantage all around. So anytime I see anyone low level challenging me, I usually assume that it's someone who's very skilled at the game trying to do a flex at someone they think is an easy target, and I'm definitely one of those. So although usually if it's like a level 12 or something, I assume, okay, I'm going to be fighting some ridiculous level 120 or some ridiculous modded build or whatever. So usually I'll just end up whipping out my troll character or whatever. Although I guess in his case I didn't. But in any case, it ended up being an actual fight. But I guess the point that I'm trying to get to is that I don't like mixing in fights that are low level because they're at such a disadvantage against me. That's not really that fair. Because it's like I win, but it's like they were at a severe disadvantage at me to begin with, so it's kind of an easy. So they're just at a disadvantage against me versus someone who might be level 99 or higher. Since all of these fights are after I've gotten my character to level 120, with one exception, and I'll get to him because he'll be last. Or I don't know. Maybe I got paced into started fighting with him at an earlier level than that. I did do that at certain points. Sometimes I would be using a character and it doesn't matter. So in general, I basically just had to determine exactly about where like it stops like being lower level than he stops being a disadvantage. So for level 99, I considered that to be about level 80. I don't think there's enough. I'm still not sure if there's enough of a difference between level 80 and 120 to really consider that to be a disadvantage. Because I don't know. It's definitely more of a disadvantage than it would be if the limit was still 99. Level 80 is definitely kind of the bare minimum, I think. Maybe I should just start considering it to be level 90. I don't know. I don't really face that many people that's kind of in that. I don't know why he's just sitting there. I don't really fight that many people that's kind of in that gray area anyway. Regardless, level 61 is just too low. So I faced enough of them after this point that I started just making them their own video. Because, I mean, it's definitely never a flex for me to win against someone that's at such a disadvantage with me. Kind of in the same way that I wouldn't really care that if I lost to someone because they modded or just was, you know, doing a troll. Like, yeah, you might be more... Like, I might fight someone more skilled than me, but if, I mean, all you're doing is just doing crap to flex on me, it's not... You're not even really playing the game. It's just a waste of time. It's a waste of time for everyone involved. So it's like and it's kind of why I generally would rather fight randoms, even though a lot of them do kind of rely on cheat tactics. Although I guess what defines a cheap tactics is skill issue, as some people might say, but whatever. Regardless, there's definitely kind of... what's a good word for it? Not necessarily cheesy, but just kind of bad sportsman way of fighting in this game. Ways that make it only enjoyable if the only thing you care about is winning. If you're willing to sacrifice having an enjoyable experience in the game just to match your win-loss ratio to a higher number, which is kind of ridiculous because if you have the right software, you can edit that in. It's the win-loss ratio in the game is saved in the save file. I don't know why you're with. People who fight defensively like that frustrate me so much. It's the people who will just sit there and wait for you to attack them, usually just so they can kind of circle around you, like what he just did. You know, they always have... I mean, I always have some kind of counter on my characters. So I guess I really shouldn't say anything, but it's just... Those are just... I don't know, I mean, I guess they're just counters or whatever. In any case, we're 30 seconds down, and the only way he can try to do damage on me is just by this kind of crap. He's playing as timidly as you possibly can. And he's just trying to snipe me and just do everything. It's... But whatever. It's frustrating. So, Dispo. Dispo's a pretty good character. I mean, I've enjoyed using him, even though he's not... He's like one of those characters I know I've enjoyed using, but I just don't like have much motivation to use him like I would, say, Zamas or Android 18, which are some of my favorite characters to use. they're definitely not top tier, but they... One thing I think tier list kind of ruined about this kind with this kind of, well, a lot of games really. I mean, to some extent they're inevitable, and there's always been kind of versions of those even before the internet. Because, like, from what I can remember offhand, like in the Baldur's Gate games, there's definitely characters that say this is a top tier. They wouldn't say top tier, but this is like definitely. They would say this character is definitely one you want on your team. This is one that you only want if you're looking to. I mean, like this other character might be okay if you're, know what you're doing, but definitely not one of the better characters in the game. So tier lists kind of just put that into more, just kind of say a lot without, well, very efficiently. As I was saying, one of the things that just kind of ruins is just the fact that, the characters that end up getting put in the top tier just end up being overused. So anytime, like in this game, for example, anytime someone wants to win a match, they're going to pick, like Super Saiyan Blue Goku or Hit, or certain Gogetas, or not necessarily like Z tier characters, or definitely like Z and A tier characters or something like that. So you would never see B tier characters unless it's like somebody's favorite character, or they're just trying to have fun, play casually or whatever. Not when they're trying to win. And it's kind of in the same way why ranked created characters are all going to be equipped with Soaring Fist and ×4 Kamehameha, because those are the best moves. They fire fast and do a lot of damage. You want them even if you want Soaring. So it's like you might want Soaring Fist even if you're not using a strike character. You might want ×4 Kamehameha even if you're using a strike character and not a key one. And this person really likes that Super God Fist. Given how often I see Super God Fist, you would think that's a higher tier character. I mean, a higher tier move than. But it's not. It definitely has its advantages in close combat, but it's up there. It's just not the best. But people seem to really like it for some reason. This person just kind of wants to sit over there and have attacks from a distance. Nice try, but no. The one thing that's been weird about the Super Beast Cannon is, I believe that when you use the kick version, I do believe that just simply blocking blocks it. I think it does, but I don't know. I feel like it's not really. Oh, and down I go. I feel like it's been able to connect with me even when I've been blocking. I don't know. I can't really say I've been in a situation where I've really had to test that out too much. I've kind of just gotten into a habit of just trying to avoid it whenever I see someone trying to use it. But anyway, that's the end of the video. Thanks for joining me. Take care. See you next time.